Well, they finally did it. Amazon Relay manufactured enough BS on one load to cause me to lose my grade. So I'm going to start by saying I'm not making this video for sympathy or empathy. I could absolutely see where somebody sitting with like an Amazon D or F sees me complaining about a low A and is like, man, shut up. And I get that. That's not why I'm doing this. My point in making this is, if they can do this to one of us, they can do this to any of us. And that's kind of the position that I'm coming from on this. If I told you about this load, this was a simple little load, 4 stops. I was checking in Sand 5 to Sand 3, back to Sand 5 to Sand 3, and it was going to be done. It was going to be a total of 4 stops. I think the important thing to tell you about this load before we begin is I had booked this load like around midnight the night before. I assigned the driver to it like 10 minutes later. Important thing about this screenshot, we're going to come back to this. This has been a screenshot I've been grabbing lately of the driver assigned, tractor assigned. I've kind of had a feeling that they would do some shenanigans with this. We're going to touch on this in a minute, but yes, I have that screenshot. And then I was due down at Sand 5, the first leg of this trip, at 12:15. I think I got my arrival successfully detected at like 12:06. Obviously, I'm using the app. Obviously, I assigned the driver in time. Obviously, I didn't reject it. I mean, all the markers that they would have. I think it's important to start out with like that bit of information. So I get into Sand 5. I mean, everything's going as planned. Arrival successfully detected. I would learn that Sand 5 did not have trailers, which was strange because 2 legs of this involved me taking a trailer from Sand 5 over to Sand 3. It's okay, we've been in that position before. You know, wait till the scheduled departure time, get in touch, do a callback request from ROC, like, hey, how do you want me to proceed? There's no trailer here. Well, ROC gets on the phone and they're like, well, you know, and I even put, I think in the case I created, I said like, listen, you guys are going to do what you're going to do with it, but I mean, I know how this is going to look. This is now going to look like, by the time you call me back, I mean, are they going to bobtail me? Are they going to cancel the trip? Are they going to retender the trip? And no matter what they do, it's now going to appear that and I was so focused on my on time, I said it's now going to appear that I'm late to Sand 3. ROC agent gets on and, you know, it's kind of like their choice as far as what they want to do. Cancel the leg, retender the trip, all this stuff. The guy tells me, he goes, okay, we're going to bobtail you on this leg. In order to do that, I need to retender the trip. And I'm like, look, you're going to send me this trip. It's going to now look like I'm late. It's now going to look like I'm assigning the driver. And of course, ROC is just so, I don't know what the word would be, flippant about it. They're just like, oh no, you're covered. You're talking to me right now. You don't have to worry about this. And it's like, And so he sends the trip over. Now, the one thing I did notice, and I called him on it immediately, I still had him on the phone, they changed the arrival time. My original arrival time was like, on the VRID that I booked, what I signed up for, my arrival time was like 12:15. And I noticed on the new retender trip, he's changed the arrival time. He's upped it like 30 minutes to like 11:45, 11:46. And I call him on it. I'm like, why did you do this? Again, oh, it doesn't matter. You driver, you silly driver, just do, I'm ROC, I'm in charge. You just do what I tell you. And it's like, yep. So I call him out on that. And again, I'm so focused on the on-time portion of this. So he sends it over. And now the weird thing was, and I did get a screen of it, as I'm trying to accept the trip, a weird screen came up saying accept failed. I grabbed a screen of that. It ended up not serving me at all. But it's a weird little screen that came up on that. Well, now I get over to Sand 3. Here's the irony in this, and I didn't know this because this was like my first load of the day. Sand 5 didn't have trailers. Sand 3 was gridlocked. So it's kind of like, why not just cancel this whole thing out? This entire load is going between Sand 5 and Sand 3, and just both sites are screwed. Like, why? Like, you basically are allowing me to keep completing these steps and are using this as like a chance to like monkey with my grade. That's absolutely what I see this as. So, I follow their instructions. I get an arrival at Sand 3. So I've had 2 arrivals at this point. My arrival at Sand 5, my arrival at Sand 3. Sand 3 has a trailer. I head back over to Sand 5 and I get what would be my 3rd and final check-in. It looks a little bit different. Even on that screen, it's like it doesn't come up with the normal arrival successfully detected. I can prove that is my check-in at San 5 through the timestamps I received. But now I'm at San 5, and San 5 tells me, oh, we still don't have trailers, wait till your scheduled departure time, give ROC a call. So I do. I'm sitting there at San 5, wait till my scheduled departure time. You can't request a call back before then. I do another call back to ROC, guy gets on the phone. I explained to him, look, San 5 doesn't have trailers, San 3's gridlocked. I didn't know that on my first call back to ROC. I know that now that I've been there. What do you want to do? And he tells me, he's like, you know what, we're just going to cancel the remaining leg of this trip, which was my last San 5 to San 3. It turns this simple 4-stop trip into, now if you look at it, it looks like it has a total of 8 stops. It's like that didn't happen on my own. Any carrier out there, it's impossible for us to make a trip look like that. That's absolutely the doing of ROC. But he cancels that last leg from San 5 back to San 3. The little thing comes up in the app saying like load is finished. I look, and it's completely cleared out of my work queue. Like it's like, okay, well this is done. Here's the rub. That trip stayed so out of my work queue in the Relay app, that trip stays in my in-transit trip afterwards. And I do a trip completion status dispute to get them to move it over. And I'm thinking it's just gonna be a simple little move. It takes them about 48 hours to do that. And once they do it, and every day I go on there, every time I run an Amazon load, I check to be sure grade's still at 100, grade's still at 100. As soon as they move that trip from in transit over to completed, they hit me with 4 performance disputes from that load. 2 of them were assigning the driver in time, and 2 of them were for app usage. So the assigning driver in time, the disruption-free portion of my grade, this was super easy to dispute. I mentioned that screenshot earlier. I don't know if I've ever really talked about it on here. I get a lot of screenshots. That screenshot saved me on that. I kind of had a feeling that they would start monkeying around with this, and now I know that they for sure will. That's an important screenshot to get. The reason it was easy to dispute was every time the ROC agent was issuing me the new trip, retendering the trip, I had to accept it. I then had to assign the driver, and just like I suspected, they claimed, oh, you're assigning the driver after a thing started. It's like, no, Amazon, I assigned the driver 11 hours and I think 43 minutes before this started. I was having to assign a driver to it then because your employees were resending the trip. So those were no problem to win. Those were simple disputes, and I just sent them that one screenshot showing 11 hours and 43 minutes, and they got it right on those. The app usage ones were, this is really where like the rub was with me. The app usage ones were, when ROC is canceling those legs, here's the thing is, the VRID I came in on San 3, the original VRID, I have a white check-in for that. Obviously I'm using the app, I have an arrival successfully detected, but when they went in and said, we're gonna retender this trip, they line out the VRID I came in on and issued me a new VRID. Well, I never worked on that VRID. I never came into a facility, I never got a white check-in, and you would think that they would know that, but they just don't. They just don't. And I submitted 2 of them on that. One of them I won, one of them I didn't. And I kind of let them know. And their reason for on the one that I didn't, they said, well, you didn't, none of your case notes talked about an app malfunction. And this is where I'm pissed with Amazon, because it's like, you got to understand, at each leg of this trip, I thought the app was behaving normally. I thought the ROC agent was behaving abnormally, but I thought the app, everything I saw on the app appeared to be working. I was getting my check-ins. They would come along behind me and delete the VRID, but I still had proof of like my arrival successfully detected, me using the app. And basically they said that because in none of my cases I brought up the fact that the app was malfunctioning is why they're gonna hold that against me and mark my performance score down. So the all-important, what did I learn? Well, I mean, as sad as it is to say, your grade is fake. Your grade is Amazon produced. Your grade is basically whatever Amazon says your grade is. So, you know, as far as I've spent a ton of time on here, you know, trying to explain like how to keep the grade high, how to protect yourself, all this kind of stuff like that. Ultimately, end of the day, your grade, my grade, is what Amazon says it is. That's a little disheartening for somebody like me. What did I learn as far as like new steps to take? Absolutely get a screenshot of when you assign the driver. That screenshot alone won 2 very simple to do performance disputes for me, as far as them accusing me of not assigning the driver in time. And then my newest thing, and you might say like it's bad to come onto the internet and instruct people to lie. I don't really see this as a lie. You can call it what you want. I am moving forward. On every load I get, the first thing I do is I'm gonna go to the load notes, or if I have to create a case, and I'm going to put in there, I believe app is malfunctioning, because that verbiage is what I needed to win this performance dispute, because I didn't bring up the app. And you might say like, well, that's a lie. You shouldn't do that. I don't know if that's a lie or not, you know. And the other bit of verbiage that I'm adding in there is I'm saying app appears to be malfunctioning. App appears to be malfunctioning. Driver assignment keeps disappearing. And here's why. This is why I would encourage you to do the same thing. 1, if you need that verbiage later on, you have it. 2, if you call ROC with a problem with the leg, do you know, prior to requesting that call back from ROC, do you know, are they going to reach into the trip? Are they going to cancel it? Are they going to give you a bobtail leg? And I already know the answer to that. You don't know what ROC is going to do with it. So when they do pick one of those things that involves assigning the driver again, I want to have that verbiage in there, just like preemptively saying like, hey, driver assignment keeps disappearing and app is malfunctioning. Yeah, the app's malfunctioning because I don't think I should, I mean, personally, I don't think I should be having to call for steps that, like, you know, you put me into a situation where Sand 5 doesn't have trailers, Sand 3's gridlocked. I think the app should fix that on its own. I think the fact that the app involves me to get ROC involvement in that, I call that an app malfunction. So I don't really see that as like a lie, but I am putting that verbiage in every freaking load I take from this point forward. And you might say it's bad to put that on the internet. I told Amazon I'm doing this. I'm like, listen, the only thing you've taught me on this is that because I didn't have that verbiage is why you're refusing to fix my grade on something that's your fault. Great, I'm gonna give you this verbiage 100% of the time. You bet your ass on that. You bet you're gonna hear that from me every freaking load I get. Even if the load's perfect, app is malfunctioning, driver assignment keeps disappearing. So that's what I learned. So where do we go from here? I mean, Amazon's created this system where your money is tied to a grade that you're supposed to be able to have like some sort of accountability, some sort of ownership over, but now they're proving that the grade is just whatever they say the grade is, even in the face of being shown that, like, hey, Amazon, you're wrong. I was using the app. Of course, I knew assigned the driver in time. Even in the face of all this, they're taking the stance of like, we tell you what your grade is and just move on. I reached out to the middle mile manager just to kind of gauge their interest, to say like, hey, do you guys ever look at performance disputes that the performance dispute people get wrong? Again, just gauging your interest here. I haven't heard anything back. I don't think I will hear anything back. But, you know, I mean, I'm one of about a dozen carriers that I know of personally that are either like backing away from Amazon or quitting doing, you know, like reducing the amount of loads that I run for them, or just not working for them altogether. I'll say this, I'm moving forward, I'll still work with them. But something like this just makes my price go up. And you might say like, well, you don't get to charge Amazon a price. You're right. I guess the more appropriate way of me saying that would be like, I'm holding out for higher rates, because they're, you know, the performance disputes that I had to do for this stuff take time. And unfortunately, they've created a system where it's like, okay, the load's gonna take enough, you know, X amount of time to do. It's gonna burn X amount of diesel to complete the load. And I have to anticipate that load is also gonna come with freaking homework like this one did. Yeah, this load physically took me like 2 hours to do and came with about 3 hours of homework. And unfortunately, the base rate that they're paying for it doesn't account for my time, and I expect my time to be compensated for. So, you know, if Amazon is sitting back and saying, like, let's lower carrier scores, let's see what we can get them to do. Let's say they do that to 20 carriers, and 19 of those 20 carriers still are like, okay, I'm gonna go run cheap loads to try to bring my grade up and everything like that. I'm not. I want the report back on Stat Trucking to be like, oh wow, we lowered his grade down. He actually worked less for us, and what loads he took were actually for a higher rate per mile than he was taking prior to this. That's the message I want to send back. And I think if more carriers sent that message back, I think it would prevent them from doing stuff like this. I think it would kind of set them straight. I mean, like right now, I'm out here not working for Amazon today because I looked at their load board and their rates don't account for my homework time that the load may potentially come to. So I'm not working for Amazon today. I'm working for another broker. But anyway, just wanted to put in there, make a video saying the king finally lost his crown. The 100% has been taken from me. I've had that for almost 2 years, and you know, the fact that I lost it over some Amazon BS, some Amazon manufactured BS, doesn't shock me in the slightest. But anyway, hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.